96. That's the number of High Court judges who've declared their assets on High Court websites. That is 96 out of a total 762 sitting High Court judges. This makes up a paltry 12.59%. And this is at a time when, just a few weeks ago, sacks of half-burnt currency notes were allegedly recovered from the residence of a judge in Delhi. Now is the time to talk about judicial accountability and judicial transparency, or the lack thereof. We at Bar and Bench went through the details available on the websites of every single High Court in the country, and what we found when it comes to the declaration of assets, what we found paints a very sorry picture indeed. Now, we decided to do this exercise because we learned on April 3rd that all 33 judges of the Supreme Court of India would publish their assets on the website of the Supreme Court. This decision was taken at a meeting of all sitting judges of the Supreme Court, and it is very important to note that this decision will be applicable to all future Supreme Court judges. While this is a very encouraging development, it did not escape anybody's notice that this came close on the heels of the controversy surrounding Justice Yashwant Verma. Now, most of you might know what I'm talking about, but for those who don't, to put it very shortly, on March 14th, a fire broke out at the residence of Justice Verma. Justice Verma was at the time a judge of the Delhi High Court. Sacks of half-burnt currency notes were allegedly recovered from a storeroom which had caught on fire, and this storeroom was in the compound of the residence. Justice Verma was quickly transferred back to his parent High Court, which is the Allahabad High Court. In-house proceedings have been initiated against the judge. We have covered all the details, all the developments in the story on our website and our app, and you can find all our articles there. Now, it is in this backdrop that the 33 sitting Supreme Court judges decided to publish their assets on the website of the Supreme Court. So far, if you go to the Supreme Court website, we can see that 30 of the judges have declared their assets and submitted it to the Chief Justice of India. But these details are not available for us to view yet, but we're sure that it will be available for public viewing soon. But when it comes to High Courts, the situation is very stark. 18 High Courts have no details of the assets of any of their judges. This includes the Allahabad High Court, which is the largest High Court in the country with 81 sitting judges at present. This list also includes the Bombay High Court, the Calcutta High Court, the Gujarat High Court, and several other large High Courts in the country. Remember, there are only 25 High Courts in India. So 18 of these 25 have no details of the assets of their judges. 7 High Courts have the details of some of their sitting judges. Not a single High Court has details of all sitting judges. Kerala High Court leads the pack, with 41 out of 44 judges having declared their assets on the website. If you go to the website of the Kerala High Court and click on the Judges tab, you'll see the profiles of every single judge, and if you click each individual profile, their assets and liabilities are clearly shown. Second on the list is the Himachal Pradesh High Court, with 11 out of 12 sitting judges having their assets on the website. 29 of the 53 judges of the Punjab and Haryana High Court have made their details public. In Delhi, 7 of the 36 judges have chosen to do the same. The figures for Madras stand at 5, for Karnataka at 2, and Chhattisgarh at 1. So why is this the situation right now? Well, the legislation that governs all these aspects have no mandate on judges to reveal their assets to the public. In 2010, the then UPA government did introduce a bill in Parliament which would have made it mandatory for High Court and Supreme Court judges to publish details of their assets as well as the assets of their spouses and children. But this bill lapsed and nothing ever came of it after that. In 1997, the Supreme Court adopted a resolution called the Restatement of Values of Judicial Life. This resolution made it mandatory for all Supreme Court judges to declare their assets and submit it to the Chief Justice of India. High Court judges were asked to do the same and submit it to the Chief Justices of the respective High Courts. In 2009, under intense public pressure, all Supreme Court judges decided to publish their assets on the website, but this was voluntary. And since then, declaration of assets and publishing it has remained voluntary and not mandatory. Now, at least with Supreme Court judges, we do have some clarity. All Supreme Court judges now and in the future will have to publish their assets on the website. But High Court judges remain out of the loop. Will there be any changes that brings High Court judges under the mandate of having to publish their assets? It remains to be seen. And also, is this enough? That is the larger question. Are these measures enough? What more can we do to increase judicial accountability and ensure judicial transparency? Please tell us your views in the comments and stay tuned to Bar and Bench for more such legal news and updates.